And now that the crisis in Syria is on the back burner, Congress can turn its attention to another big issue, and that's the budget.
This morning, leaders from both parties will meet to talk about the possibility of raising the debt limit, and the pressure is on. Tracy Potts is in Washington with the very latest. Tracy, we haven't heard any talk about this lately.
Well, and we need to hear some soon because we've got a deadline coming up October 1st. We're talking less than 3 weeks from now when this Congress needs to come up with a new budget for the next year. They weren't able to do it last year. At least they need to agree to continue the spending plan that we already have. But here's the catch, a couple of things. There are Republicans in the House who are opposing, yet again, the health care law, and they want to do it this time by dealing with the money, taking the money out of it, so that could get tangled up in this entire budget issue. Then guess what? We're about to hit that debt ceiling again, possibly next month. So Congress is going to have to make some decisions about whether or not to allow the U.S. to borrow more money to pay its bills or whether to look at even more severe budget cuts. Remember the so-called sequester cuts from last spring? Are they going to keep those in the budget? Democrats say they were unfair to women and minorities and low-income families. So you can expect a lot of back and forth on this debate kicking off behind closed doors today between the top leaders in the House and the Senate. They're going to try to come to some agreement, lay out an agenda before throwing it all open for more than 500 members of Congress to try to agree on.
And Tracy, you mentioned it's essentially 3 weeks away. Is that enough time?
Well, it may or may not be. If it's not enough time, we could be looking at the possibility of a government shutdown. And that's something that's hanging out there, and it's something that critics of the health law are using to try to urge their colleagues and lawmakers to get something done quickly. Not to mention the fact that the House has another week-long break before that deadline, before the end of this month. The Senate's supposed to be off for a few days in the middle of October, so there is not a lot of time to deal with this.
All right, Tracy, thank you for that live report. So kind of crunch time.
And they just got back from a break, too.
Exactly.
We'll keep following that for you. It is